And welcome to this episode of Messing Around Mondays with Zach and Tins. We're ready to mess around. We're super excited for this episode. What I want to start out with, and the guys don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm bringing back the On This Day. What happened on this day for Messing Around Mondays? Tom Selleck was born. Oprah Winfrey was born, and the legendary podcast superstar Zachary Durham was born on this day. Hey. So happy birthday to Zach. 1 year older. How are we feeling, Zach?
You know, we're feeling great. We're feeling like I'm hitting my. I think I'm going to peak 29. This is my year where I peak.
It's when you hit your prime, 29.
My previous peak was in middle school, I think. So we're hitting our second peak. We're trying to extend beyond it. You know, we're gonna have a baby. It's a big year coming up. So
a lot of renovations with the house.
Yeah, house hopefully will be renovated soon. Making good progress. So yeah, big stuff happening. Thanks everybody. I didn't even think about that, to be honest. That because we're recording this on Sunday, so it's tomorrow. But yeah. Shout out Oprah Winfrey.
Fun celebrations, and you are in good company. She turned 69 today. So
wow,
good.
Wow.
Any fun celebrations, Zach?
We've already done a few things. I went and watched Oppenheimer yesterday, which was my birthday. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I kind of forced my wife to come to watch Oppenheimer with me, and she did a good job. She sat through 3 hours of the movie. We actually really liked it. I've been wanting to watch it, and it's just been too much of a time commitment. So they re-released it in IMAX, and so I got to go see it in the full IMAX theater. So that was pretty dope. I really liked it, but got to do that. Got to watch.
How many buckets of popcorn did you eat?
I didn't eat any because we went to go eat afterwards. So we went to go to Double Dogs and got to watch the rest of the basketball game. Watch Tennessee beat Vandy. So it was a good day yesterday. It's kind of when we were celebrating. So yeah, fun stuff. Yeah.
For his 29th birthday, we will become the #1 rated podcast in America. So
yeah, that's
that's
my other. My other hope and aspiration for 29 is to climb the charts to #1 podcast in America. So
we're coming for you, new heights. We're coming for you. Pardon my take. We're coming for you, armchair experts.
Trash. All you guys. Trash on all of them. Yeah. Garbage. We'll do it without celebrity interviews.
Yeah.
We got some exciting podcast stuff coming on the horizon as well. We haven't talked a lot about it, but there is some exciting stuff coming. Especially in our weekend preview. If you're wondering, what are the guys going to do during the off season for football? And we got some stuff in the pipeline. So if you're concerned about that, have no fear, because I think we have some stuff that we're all really, really excited about actually coming for those segments. So we got some big stuff coming up.
But if there is any celebrities out there that want to be on the podcast, just email us.
We won't turn them down.
That's true.
Right. Yeah.
We won't turn them down. At gmail.com.
Yeah, you have to be a big celebrity, big star. Other than that, I think I'm pretty excited about some stuff. I was at the movie watching some trailers, and there are some big movies coming out pretty soon, actually. So there's other things I'm excited about for the upcoming months. Dune 2 looks pretty fire as well. And we're talking about a couple of those things in our press releases today. But how are you all doing? How's your weeks been?
Zach knows he works for UP, or his company uses UPS for all their shipping needs. And if you live in Tennessee, you know that we just got done with a tundra ice storm. Mason doesn't know because he was in Mexico the whole time. But I know that our Cookeville Center, we were behind all week, about 19 trailers. I had to work about 50 plus hours this week at UPS catching up. Well, poor Knoxville got hit significantly harder. They're about 90 trailers behind. They're asking for volunteers for this week to come help them work.
Just off the streets. Anyone wants to come with it?
No. from other UPSs. They asked us in our center on Saturday. They said if anyone wants to go work in Knoxville for the week, raise their hand. So that was something it's bad up there. I know Zach's struggling. He's trying to find some tools right now. So that was my
Lost
week.
in transit.
I was living at UPS.
Crazy week. Mason?
So I didn't know dogs could do this, but our dog actually got kicked out of daycare.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Why, Mason?
I'm not gonna get into too much detail, but aggression and male behavior. So we are going to.
What does that mean?
So we're gonna. You can put two and two together.
Fine.
He's gonna get fixed on Monday. We actually were able to get him. Yeah. So.
But how would that help?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah, today.
Yeah,
so
today.
For everybody that knows or doesn't know, I think I have a golden retriever.
He's not a golden
we're still
retriever.
figuring out. Yeah, he's mixed with something possibly, but he's a wild banshee, and we're going to get him fixed and then do some training and then take him back to daycare. He loves it so much that when I take him out in the mornings, he goes to my car wanting to get in the car thinking that he's going. And I'm like, nope, bud, you're banned from daycare. So, but yeah, that's what happened our past week.
Yeah, every time it's like anytime all four of us leave to go somewhere at the same time, the dogs think they're going to daycare because that's normally what we'll take them for the weekend or something. Yeah. If they see us taking bags out to the car, they all start spazzing out. They're like, "Oh, we get to go to the daycare? No, you're staying here. You're not going."
Bummer.
But they love that. Our dogs go to the same place. Mason takes his dog, and it's pretty cool. They've got all kinds of stuff. They've got pools and outside toys, and it's pretty dope. I want to stay there for a week.
So you get kicked out.
Yeah, exactly. Aggression and male behavior is the term I'm going with. But listen, when we picked him up from our trip, we were gone for 9 days. I didn't know if he was mad or sassy with us because we left him or because we took him away from his paradise. I'm thinking it's the second one. I think he was like, I was having so much fun. Why did you bring me back to, this house with no other dogs?
House sucks.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
Oh, don't start saying things like no other dogs. You'll end up with another dog. I know.
Yeah, you're right.
Or two more.
You've been there.
Yeah, he's perfectly happy by himself. He's not bored. Don't let that idea start floating around in your house because that's what happened to me.
Exactly. Well, trust me, we have as many toys as... we spend more money on toys for this dog. Of course, he plays with them. Than I spend money on myself. So he's got plenty of toys. Mm-hmm. Doesn't need another friend, though.
No,
at least
that's how Mason gambles to provide toys for his dog.
That's right.
He hasn't got any new toys in a while. We're both cold.
Gotta win some money.
Sorry, bud. I'm gonna have to take these away and sell them.
We gotta return them.
Return them.
I gotta get one more parlay
bet this week.
All I'm saying is this is messing around Mondays, but all I gotta say is Chiefs money line, or you get no more toys. Chiefs gotta win this game, or you don't get any toys.
Chiefs don't win. we're going not name brand food this week for you, bud.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, that's what was going on this week for me.
So today's episode is pretty exciting. We have a couple press releases. Mason. This is your first ever Should I Watch That segment?
Should I ever watch that Mason edition? I have
like a jingle for that. Should I watch that?
Hey, that's beautiful.
So Mason is going to give us that here in a second. And then we have a pretty special, something a little different today. We're working together to build a basketball team made up of superheroes from various movies and things. And then we are going, in a later episode, we will draft a super villain basketball team, and we'll compare them with each other. We're putting together an all-star team of sorts, and so we'll talk through that when we get there later in the episode. But for now, we have some press releases, I think, to talk about. Tins, you got a press release for us?
Yes. Okay, so the new game, Palworld.
Right.
It's hitting the streets. It's becoming very popular. It's still in early It's not finished yet. It's a game preview right now, but you can play it on
Like early
Xbox.
release. Yeah.
Yeah, early release, so it's still a little buggy. Um, but this game might consume my life pretty soon. I was playing it for a while. We were playing Fortnite last night. Shout out the boys. 0 dubs. That's how we do. We're
Really
really good.
bad.
We're
Yeah.
really good at messing up bots, and then we always come across the one team that's really good, and they do tricks
Wreck
on
us.
us. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It's
but
true.
we have a fun time. Um, so we were playing that. And once the guys got off, I was like, "Well, I'm gonna test out this game, so I could talk about it today on the pod." And then I played it for like 3 more hours. It is Minecraft meets Pokemon. It's it's like everything I've ever dreamed of an open world Pokemon game being.
Mm.
You can do whatever you want. You get to build your like camp and do all this stuff. I mean, it's very fun. I haven't gotten to play a lot of it. Apparently, after about 20 hours worth of gameplay, you can add in guns. You can start
Mhm.
shooting stuff. So that just adds another variant to it. But this game is very big right now. I guess someone added a mod and actually turned it into Pokemon. Like there's creatures in the game
Oh,
you can capture and do all that kind of stuff like Pokemon, but and they look very similar to some Pokemon. This guy created a
they
mod that
do.
turned the whole game into like there's Pikachu's running around, Snorlaxes, Charmanders, and he is. It lasted about 12 hours before Pokemon put a slap on it and said, "No, you're done. You can go ahead and turn that off." So, but it's very fun. It's worth checking out. If you have Game Pass on Xbox, it is included, and then I guess it's on Steam for
It's like 30
laptops.
bucks. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty
for
cheap
computer.
still. Yeah.
I don't think it's on PlayStation so far. That's because they suck.
So
So
I actually listened to an entire podcast about this game that came out. I haven't played it like Tens did, so he has the firsthand info there. But apparently, this game only had a budget of like $6 million or $7 million, and it did. It sold 8 million games in the first week of being released.
Woo.
And then also, this was a couple days ago still, so not even the weekend yet, but in 1.5 million Xbox Game Pass downloads. And so you're talking about huge numbers compared to the budget, and it kind of blew up out of nowhere. Like I said, it was people knew it was releasing, but it kind of did. It started off way bigger than anyone thought it was going to. It's just made an enormous amount of money. There's been a lot of speculation about what Nintendo's going to do with the whole Pokemon situation, if they're going to try and sue them or they're going to push back. From what I've heard, I don't think that's going to happen. Probably doesn't look like they're gonna pursue like shutting the whole thing down. I don't know if they could, but it is pretty interesting, the whole situation, because it has been extremely popular. I heard it broke some records on Steam for like most players playing one game,
Yeah,
and like as people have been streaming it on Twitch, and it's been blowing up, and so it's one of the most popular games in the world right now. And it came from like a really small company that was no one knew it was going to be blowing up like this. So just pretty interesting to follow. I imagine it's going to be very popular.
yeah.
Um,
It
so
really should push Pokemon to do a. I mean, they've kind of just laid back and like, okay, they make the same game every year. They add new Pokemon every couple of years, but
yeah,
for the most part, the graphics, the gameplay has really kind of become very stale in the last 5 to 10 years, where it's the same game over and over. And so this should push Pokemon to do a better job because they're a multi-billion-dollar thing, and they have every probably capability of making a game look just as good as this. Because Palworld looks great, and the features it
mm,
has with the open world stuff. I mean, they don't have to add the violence of guns and stuff in the Pokemon, but if they just did some of the things that this new game's doing, it would probably make Pokemon even more popular because it has kind of fallen off. I mean, I've got a Switch that I buy every time a new Pokemon game comes out, and then I'm immediately tired of it because it's like the same game that was the last game. So it should kind of push them a little bit. I
yeah,
hope.
that's been a popular narrative of like it's like Pokemon but better. Like
Yeah,
it's a better
like
version of
a
a lot of the
Pokemon
newest
tried.
Pokemon games.
Yeah.
With for a comparison with the budget, Palworld was about $7 million budget. Spider-Man 2, the like hugely anticipated PS5 game, was $315 million budget.
Gosh.
And
Wow.
that game did 5 million in sales in the first 11 days, and then this one did 8 million in sales in the first week. So, just a crazy situation happening. I think you're going to hear more and more about it as people continue to get on and play. And I think they're going to continue to make the game better now that they have so much revenue and that it's kind of blown up so much. I think they'll continue to add some things onto it as well. So fun stuff there. Yeah. Cool. Well, I've got another my press release for the day. I've got a few small ones today. Let's start here. McDonald's is releasing a double Big Mac officially. It has 4 total patties, it looks like, and 3. There's like a bun in between each of the patties. It's massive and is certainly a thing they're doing. So that's something.
How can you even stack that? Because the Big Mac itself was already like huge.
That is
it
true.
not just kind of fall apart, like fall over once you get it?
Probably.
Yeah, it's going to just be a mess.
Also, I want to know the calorie content on that for sure.
It's probably like 1,500. Yeah. I don't know if anyone will actually buy that or not. I think McDonald's is scrambling. They realize they're falling behind in the fast food race right now, in my opinion. That's my hot take. Okay, something else. This new movie Roadhouse has a trailer. It's a remake of an older Roadhouse starring Jake Gyllenhaal and Conor McGregor, his acting debut. And he's kind of just playing himself, it seems like. It's like a super cocky UFC type, just like a mixed martial artist fighter. Pretty interesting trailer. The trailer looked good. Tins, you had a couple of things about it too.
Yeah, so the movie was shooting over the summer, and it was actually at a live UFC event. Everyone in New York, they had to sign NDAs because they filmed his like the opening fighting scene, which is like, if it holds true to the original Roadhouse movie, he goes too far in the fight and gets kicked out of the UFC. I think in the original Roadhouse, the guy like gets in a boxing match and kills somebody. And it gets kicked out of boxing. So I think that's what they're trying to do. But apparently, a lot of UFC fans that were there said it really did like look like a real fight. Like Jake Gyllenhaal looked like a real UFC fighter. He had been training with somebody's camp to make it look real. He didn't halfway do this. So I'm very excited about it. I'm a very casual UFC fan, and so I'm hoping that we get a cool, fun fight scene between him and Conor McGregor in the octagon. That'd be fun. And this is big for Conor McGregor too, because it's going to be coming out close to his return to the UFC, his very first pay-per-view in a few years. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal was in another boxing movie, Southpaw, which actually was pretty good. I like that one.
It was very good. Yeah, I like that one too.
I know that he's got that in him. I think the plot, if you're unfamiliar, is after he gets kicked out of the UFC, he goes and becomes like a bouncer at a bar, like a really rough bar in Florida, and then a bunch of stuff happens, and then that's where Conor McGregor steps in, I guess. So, I actually am looking forward to that one. I think it'll be pretty good. Lastly, on my list for this week, Logan Paul has signed a full-time contract renewal with WWE, and he said he plans to go full-time with it and not just be on the side. And so, kind of shockingly to everybody, a lot of people like Logan Paul in the WWE. He's pretty good at it, and so he could be the new face that, like in the next couple of years, if he takes it really seriously, he could be the next guy who kind of takes over. So, pretty interesting.
Yeah, a lot of people say he's fun to watch on there. He does a lot of the high acrobatic stunts off the top ropes and does all that kind of stuff. And he's gotten hurt a couple of times because he does just kind of throw it. He goes all out for it, so it makes it fun. I'm not a big wrestling fan by any means.
I'm not either. I'm not going to pretend to know what I'm talking about with this stuff. Nope. But I just know people talk about like on Twitter and stuff. People usually are like, "Yeah, he's pretty good, actually." So
Netflix they just paid like $1 billion or something to get Monday Night Raw live every Monday now.
Oh yeah.
On Netflix.
I saw that.
So that's gonna add to their crowd too. And if you can get someone like Jake Paul to kind of pull in another crowd, it could make. I mean, not that wrestling's not big because it's pretty big. I don't know how I never really watched it growing up, but apparently it's just all the rage. Everyone watches wrestling except for maybe us three.
I see clips online and stuff after the fact of the big stuff, but I did see the Netflix signed that huge contract, so that's pretty big. You've seen more and more of the streaming services jumping into what has traditionally been cable, especially we've seen it with football this season and Amazon Prime, and then Peacock getting the playoff game, and so I saw some numbers. That was Peacock, right? They got that.
Chiefs they got that Chiefs playoff game last week.
And seeing some numbers from that, it looks like Peacock subscriptions jumped significantly, which obviously is the goal for something like that. So it's seeming to be successful as more people transition out of cable into something more like if you just have a bunch of streamers, you can kind of get everything. So
yeah, and definitely Peacock. I mean, Peacock's $5 a month, so they got people hooked into it for the playoff game, and then you stick around and look at their other content. I mean, they're
big to unsubscribe.
Or that too, but they're big for soccer. They get a lot of like the Premier League games, golf coverage, and then The Office is on there. So I have Peacock. I've had it for a while. I like having it.
Yeah. There you go. All right, Mason, you got some press releases for us?
Yeah, real quick though, 740 calories for a double Big Mac, 48 grams of carbs, 38 grams of protein, and 44 grams of total fat.
Wow.
Sounds pretty healthy to me.
That's growing some muscles right there.
Well, one of the Google searches was, is a double Big Mac healthy?
Could be.
I was thinking, who's looking at
If you're bulking, that's good for you maybe.
Yeah, not wrong. Speaking of food, I'm going to kick us off with Ben & Jerry's just added 2 new flavors to its permanent list.
Permanent?
Yes. And so sometimes they do just like a trial, like or a seasonal, but this is permanent.
Have they announced that they're getting rid of some flavors? Because
not to my knowledge.
I'm very concerned about Chunky Monkey at this point. I'm seeing less of it at stores.
He's very concerned.
He's worried, everybody.
It's the daily thing I'm worried about.
He just wakes up at 2:30 in a cold sweat. Well, he's already at work. Never mind.
What if they get rid of it?
If I've already eaten my last Chunky Monkey pint of ice cream.
You need to start like hoarding it.
I know, I really do. I need to buy a freezer for
buying it up.
Tinsley's gonna call me to ask me to help him load up one of those ginormous freezers that you like, a backup freezer. He's gonna be like, "Yeah, can you help me? I just bought this so I can store all of my Chunky Monkey in here." The 2 new flavors are peanut butter s'more, and I'm gonna butcher this, impressively. So instead of impressively, it's impressively fudge, and it's just chocolate covered pretzels. Ice cream.
Yeah, I'd eat that too.
I'd eat it. What can I say? Simple guy.
Good job, Ben and Jerry. Sometimes you guys come out with some really bad flavors. Those are both A+ to me.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. If you put nuts in ice cream, why is my question. The fact that I feel like that's pretty common, and I'm just like, I don't understand why. The fact that these are simple, like you said, peanut butter, chocolate, pretzels.
So, real quick, the description is combining chocolate peanut butter cups with toasted marshmallow ice cream, graham cracker pieces, marshmallow swirl.
Yep.
I'd eat that.
Have you ever done a s'mores, but instead of a Hershey bar, you do a Reese cup?
Yep.
I have not, but it sounds pretty good. And then the impressively fudge fills a chocolate ice cream base with pretzel swirls and crunchy fudge dipped pretzel pieces.
Yep.
And they even have like pictures of
the frozen pretzel I'm concerned about.
Yeah, they like doing that. They have like a Netflix flavor that's pretzels and peanut butter and cookie dough. And the frozen pretzels are a little tough. They are a little much.
I try it though for sure.
I'll try it at least 3 times to make sure I like it.
Got to give it a couple rips, yeah.
Yeah. 3 pints to make sure one way or the
For
other.
science. Yeah.
What do you mean $200 was charged to my card? Oh, that's just me buying Ben and Jerry's ice cream, everybody.
Ben
I'm
Jerry's
sorry.
is very expensive compared to
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
pretty much any other ice cream. Yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But it's good though.
Is there
You only live
stock?
once.
Can you buy stock?
It's
in
more
this?
comparative to like going to get a Blizzard than like getting a pint of
Right, like
Mayfield ice cream or something.
yeah. A
Like
Blizzard
a
sounds
specialty
good.
ice cream. I
Yeah.
do love a Blizzard. Blizzards
Good
are
work,
so.
everybody.
This is off topic. Blizzards are so much higher quality than anything from Sonic or like
Yes.
McDonald's ice cream wise.
I
Like
think
Sonic Blasts try, but they're not even.
They're not
comparable,
good.
I don't think to Blizzards.
I don't think they're good at all. Every time
Yeah.
I'll get one every once in a while, I'm like, I'm close to Sonic, I'll do that, and then like 2 bites, I'm like, yeah, I remember why I don't do this.
I can do like a milkshake, but if I'm gonna get a milkshake, I'd probably rather just go to Cookout.
Yeah,
It's
or
crazy.
Baskin Robbins even.
Oh, I've never done a Baskin Robbins milkshake.
Classic.
Oh, they're big. You can get a milkshake this size for like $7.
That's a deal.
Don't ask me how I know that.
Also, that's a good visual for the pod.
Yeah.
Did everybody see that? That big cup that he was holding?
He just held up a gallon jug, a 5-gallon bucket.
How's no one else figured out how to make like a Blizzard? Like everybody else is so far behind compared to them. You guys are
Well,
correct.
McDonald's is like giving up on their ice cream. I think
Yeah.
Yeah, they just
It's
their
pretty
machine
funny
is
how-
broken.
they literally just were like, "Nah, I think we're good.
We just
I
don't
think
care.
They're just going to be broken forever."
My favorite thing was the dip cone. Like that was like the only
Yeah.
thing I used to like to get there. And then they were just like, no, we don't do that anymore. Like they literally given up. I was like, what do you mean? That's had to be your top
Wendy's-
seller of anything sweet.
Wendy's Frosties are good.
Yeah, they have the corner, like the market cornered on the Frosty. They have something different than everybody else, which
And then
Works.
Checkers and Rallies, their milkshakes are okay. Their ice cream product is better to me than what you get at McDonald's or Sonic.
I've never had that before. I've had Checkers, but I've never had their milkshake.
They're solid. They're a solid B minus.
I like it.
B minus.
They only
My
have basic
recommendation would be
flavors.
minus. Yeah.
They only have chocolate, strawberry, banana, or vanilla.
Sometimes that can be like good though. It means they're not trying to overdo it with something crazy. They're like, this is what we do. We do it well. Here it is.
It's hitting free throws.
I don't mind that. Yeah, it's your
It's the fundamentals.
fundamentals of ice cream. See, if McDonald's could just do that, like if McDonald's could even just do cones,
Chocolate
like
or vanilla
Mason said.
cones. That's
just
it.
leave it. That's what Wendy's does. Like we have Frosties.
Every
Here's
once in
what
a
we
while,
have.
they'll roll out the strawberry frosty, but for
The peppermint
90% for Christmas, peppermint.
That's pretty
yeah,
good.
It is,
Eat that.
but 90% of the time, it's do you want a chocolate frosty or a vanilla frosty? We're not trying to get cute. We're not trying to do hot caramel, fluffernutter, peanut brittle frosties
Agreed.
here. We're just doing the basics.
You know, there's a lot of this is now way off topic, but there's a lot of coffee shops that are starting to do this where, you know, those like little pop-up coffee places that are starting to like Dutch Bros or like, what's the other one? There's a couple of them.
7 Brew
Yeah. There's multiple scooters. Okay.
scooters. Yeah.
And they're just like, we're not going to do all the food and stuff like Starbucks. We're going to keep it simple. This is our coffee. We can make it in this tiny building and just make this as simple as possible because it doesn't cost that much just to build this tiny little, they pretty much just pre-make or whatever.
Yeah, they
And
just
then
crank out
just
coffee.
This is coffee.
But
And
they
then
do
it's
all
pretty
kinds
efficient.
of frozen crazy ones. I don't know. Mason
do,
likes
they
7
do,
Brew
that's
over
true.
there.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
a
literally
7
have
Brew
one in my
fan.
hand right
I'm
now.
not a 7 Brew fan at all.
Wow, this is not an ad.
For everybody that can see, I have a Irish cream frozen
Irish cream?
frappuccino. Yeah, it's pretty.
Getting turned up on
Pretty
the
good.
Sunday.
No alcohol, everybody. Just Irish cream. It's good. Sweet, very sweet. Also, this is like a gallon bucket over here. Everybody that can see on the
He's
phone.
holding
you
it
probably-
down for everybody.
Probably paid $15 for it.
It was for both of ours was that much, so I only get it every once in a while.
Once in a while. But the one time we mentioned it, he had one on hand. So
I did. That's how devoted I am to the pod.
Coincidence?
I'm prepared at all times.
All right.
The world that has been waiting for.
Here we go,
The
Mason.
entire world. Should I watch that Messin edition? Before we dive into the movie, I want to talk about my categories. I have 3 important categories for the Messin scale. Number 1, and the most important, action factor. The more the action, the better. Number 2, the cast. Does this movie have a good cast? Do I know any of these actors or actresses? And number 3, plot. For this particular category, you want a low score. The lower the score, the better.
The less
we
plot,
don't need
the better.
We don't need a difficult movie plot like Inception or Oppenheimer. Just make it an easy watch. I'm going to combine these scores for a total score of yes or no. Should I watch that? For the first movie that should be honored and inducted into the Messin Should I Watch That Hall of Fame is going to be, drum roll please, Zach, Gran Turismo.
Wow. Big time
First movie, should I watch that? This
you really
is
swung
actually,
for the fences with this
really
movie
did.
pick.
So, for this movie, we watched this last night, actually. This is how much I'm devoted to the pod. Did my research. Yes, go ahead, Tins.
Oh, no, I'm just hanging out.
Okay, you're ready. Okay.
I'm just listening.
First off, I want to start by saying that this was based on a true story and starts with a video game. Of course, Gran Turismo. Played this game countless of hours with my brother when I was younger. Just a quick overview. Zach also watched this, so he can chime in. People don't like spoilers, fast forward a minute and a half. Tinsley, watch the clock for me. So real quick, basically, this is real video game. Nissan gets together with the video game creators and says, let's take all of these video game players and have them compete to have a chance to enroll in an academy where they turn these gamers into real race car drivers. There will be one winner at the very end, and he's able to, this is like overseas, I think in Europe, he does several different races to become a real race car driver. So pretty cool. Zach, did I miss anything on that? Like overview?
I think that sounds right. Yeah, it was and it's based on like a real life thing. You can look it up and see all
true story.
Yeah, it's good. I like that part about it.
So to kick us off on our scoring, action score, to be honest, starts out slow. Took 23 minutes. Yeah, 23 minutes into the movie. I actually counted 23 minutes into the movie before you got your first action scene. But after that, started the timer. But to be honest, it kept a pretty good pace of action with racing, wrecks, and very tense moments. My total action score is 6.841.
That's pretty high.
Total action score.
Okay.
For the cast, several action stars. I'll start with Orlando Bloom, known for Pirates of the Caribbean and Lord of the Rings. And also David Harbour, who was from Stranger Things and also starred as Red Guardian and Black Widow. Pretty good action stars, pretty good cast, pretty good acting. I give this one, for my movie cast star rating, a 5.401.
Wow.
Final category, the plot score. Not a whole lot of plot, to be honest. Keep it simple. Understood what the story was about. Didn't have to explain a whole lot in the overview. 2.293. We won a low score. Yeah,
right.
So pretty
good.
My final calculations of my should I watch that final score? Yes, you should watch that.
If you are Mason, you should watch this.
And that concludes my Should I Watch
I think we
That?
should change it to Should Mason Watch That?
Yeah.
I did like this movie. It was pretty good. It wasn't the greatest movie of all time for sure, but the fact that you have David Harbour and Orlando Bloom in it really picked it up a good bit. And it was based. The fact that it's based on a true story was also pretty neat. It kind of elevates games or movies like this. It reminded me. This is another. I'm really off the rails today with my side notes, but it really reminded me of a book I read. It was this. It's like the sequel to Ready Player One. So it's written by the same guy, Ernest Cline. It's called Armada. This is a totally fictionalized book, but it's like there's an arcade game called Armada, and basically it turns out that the twist is that the government had released this game to look just like real life spaceships because there was like an impending alien attack that they saw in the future. So they released this arcade game and had this competition to see who was the best in the world at it. And then they like actually flew them in to this site where they had these real life spaceships, and it was like the game was modeled directly after what the real life spaceships look like. So they were training to fight these aliens invasion, and they never knew it. They were just playing a game. So it reminded me a lot of that kind of plot. But the fact that it's based on a true story is pretty cool. I've never actually played the game Gran Turismo, but it seemed pretty
So in the movie, they have the legitimate like steering
Simulator.
wheel and some of the that he was using.
Yeah.
We just had our PS2 controller, so we didn't have that.
Whole
But
different experience.
we weren't that bougie, yeah. But it's still pretty fun game to play. So yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Sweet.
yeah. What did you guys
Did
think
you-
of mine? Did I do pretty good on that?
Yeah.
It was
Did
good.
you rent it, or like where is it?
It's on Netflix. I
On
forgot that
Netflix?
part.
Okay.
It is
Yeah,
on Netflix.
it's on
That's where I
Netflix.
watched it as well. Yeah,
So
I'm gonna check
we
it
were
out.
actually on it's pretty cool at Royal Caribbean. They had movies during, they had a screen out in the pool area, and they actually had it on, but we showed up like it was raining and we didn't want to sit out in the rain and watch it, so we're like, we'll just watch it when we get back home. So that's where we kind of, it looked cool on the big screen on the ship, so that's where it all kind of surfaced from. But yeah,
Mason, we need to do your ranking for Oppenheimer. I think it would be all time on the no
that could
list.
be the next one we do.
Okay, so to wrap up our show today, we have never done something like this before, so we're gonna see how it goes. This is a little different. It's not a draft competition, but more of a collaboration. We're going to put our heads together and create what we think would be the most competitive basketball team that could be. We're going to pick the starting 5 superhero basketball team. So this is designed, let's say that there is a competition for kind of like a Space Jam, like for the world's sake. Instead of fighting, they're just going to have a basketball game that is going to decide the fate of the world. We're putting our best 5 up to go up against the super villains best 5. So that's our goal today, is to put together what we feel like will be the most cohesive top or 5 player basketball team out there. So a couple things that we need to consider. You need to have someone who can play on a team. There's a couple of not very good team players out there in the world of superheroes. I'm looking at you, Batman. Maybe not great for this list. We are looking at, we can bring any powers that they have to the table. This is a no holds barred competition, so they can do whatever you got. You try to get the ball in the basket at the end of the day. So something to consider.
All right, like it.
Ready.
Okay, so do we want to just work down the positions? Do we want to start at point guard? Do we want to start at center? What are we feeling?
Can we start with center, because I already have a really good one?
Okay, center, Mason.
All right, my first suggestion would be Mr. Fantastic. He's the closest to Victor Wembanyama. He can stretch his arms out. He can be 10 feet tall. He can block. He can be good on defense. He can stretch
Hard to
himself
score.
so wide or low.
Yep.
Yeah,
Rim protector.
wide or tall.
Rim protector.
That's right.
So I guess my only concern is I feel like we need a bully on the team.
We'll get
some.
that power forward.
Yeah,
So you're saving it for power forward.
Yeah,
I'm
the
thinking
power
of the,
forward's your dirty work guy.
Embiid versus Wembanyama matchup. They have a big man who just clears him out of the paint, and then what do you got?
That was my big no brainer. But if you guys have someone else for center, that is fine.
I had Mr. Fantastic as well at center because I went with the route of my power forward is going to be someone who is incredibly strong and incredibly gifted at being a bully.
Okay. I like it.
All right. So should we set it in?
I feel pretty good about that. That's very interesting. He is tall, I guess.
Think of that one, Zach? Yeah. Well,
I don't know. That's fine. The other options, if you have Ant-Man in his Giant Man form, I think that's a very competitive center option. I like putting the bully at the 4 spot though. That was my other thought, is putting your biggest size of the center, but I think you can do that because of his skills with his making himself longer.
Yeah, you got to have a center who can kind of shoot too and kind of do a couple other things. Your power forward really just kind of got to be a blob, a space eater.
Draymond Green?
Right, exactly. The Draymond Green. Your center you need a little bit more out of pick and roll situations, stuff like that.
Both of you picked Mr. Fantastic at 5, so we'll stick with that. I like that option. I think that's good. Okay, he's also smart. One of the smartest people in the.
So true.
Imagine him running the pick and roll. He knows where to set the screens. He's got the smarts. Run the plays through him. I like it.
All right, perfect.
Okay, so
Tens, who is your
power forward?
Who'd you have for power forward? I'm interested to see.
Oh, I had the Incredible Hulk, baby.
I kind of thought so. Yeah, go ahead, Zach. He said team player. I also had Hulk, and then he said you probably.
That's the question. Is he controllable? Is he going to get in foul trouble early and then?
Maybe we have Black Widow as the coach. She's our coach, or at least assistant coach.
Yeah, we should draft a coach as well. I agree with that. I think there are some concerns about the controllability, but
but no one controls Draymond Green either, and the Warriors are a dynasty.
That is true.
My backup pick was going to be the Thing, also from Fantastic Four. He's bulky rock, kind of similar to it's smaller, obviously, but similar to the Hulk. I don't hate it.
Okay, so let me throw a couple options out there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe for some other positions. I thought of a couple of sleepers from non-MCU properties that I think you can maybe plug into some places. One is Omni-Man from Invincible.
I don't know him.
You don't know Invincible?
No, I do.
He's the main guy. He's the dad of.
I'm bad at names.
Pretty much unstoppable. Right? Yeah. He is definitely a bully, but that's just throwing that out there. There was someone else I was thinking about. I think that's fine.
What about
the Hulk? The Hulk makes the most sense there. What were you gonna say?
What about the Beast from X-Men? He's very smart.
Is he as strong as Hulk?
He is.
I don't think he's as strong as Hulk. What about
he can be controllable.
So my other thought, someone who's used to competition, a little more control, more of a team player. Korg. I love Korg.
Zach loves Korg. He's always trying to get Korg.
Is hilarious. Korg's made of rocks. What are you going to do? He's made of rocks. He's not as smart, maybe, but he is used to competition. He's a gladiator. So, but I think Hulk makes the most sense at that spot. If you're just wanting someone that can just bully people and just is he might
get ejected, but we've got him. He's on
he's taking somebody down with him.
At least he's on our team.
We should pick a 6th player as well if we got time. We should pick one bench player just because he's going to get injected during the game. So maybe Korg can sit on the bench and sub in for him or something.
Okay.
6-man
I
of the
like
year.
it. I like it. 6-man
Six-man
core would
of
be
the
pretty
year.
good, just in case something happens to Hulk. Or Hulk can't get green. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
And get angry.
That's key. Okay, so why don't we do this then? I think there's an obvious pick at the point guard position, in my mind at least.
Let's hear it.
Okay.
And then because I think shooting guard and like a small forward can go a lot of different ways.
Okay.
In my brain, the most obvious pick for someone for a point guard is Spider-Man.
Yep.
You know, you got the court vision, Spidey senses. Anytime there's an open guy, there's elite speed, elite strength, and then the handles,
Agility.
are got to be crazy. Yeah. That's in my brain. Spider-Man is obvious point guard material.
I agree with that one.
Tim, did you have anybody else on the point guard?
Oh, I literally had it. It was tiered on my list. And it was Spider-Man. Yeah. If you don't get first overall pick, who cares?
Yeah, I think I would have taken Spider-Man first overall as well.
Yeah. Because we were talking about doing it as a draft, and I was like, if I don't get Spider-Man, then what are we doing all this for?
What is this all been about?
The only other one I would have thought of would have been Flash.
I still think you could plug Flash in at like a shooting guard potentially.
Okay, so let's go ahead and transition to that because I think point guard is set in. Let's set it in.
Okay.
Spider-Man. So let's go to shooting guard.
Okay, so someone you feel like has high accuracy, maybe. Mm-hmm. You want a shooter, but
I was gonna go with Hawkeye. But that's
maybe.
Arrows. So I don't know.
Arrows.
Hawkeye, and he's not very super.
Yeah.
He's
he's kind of a liability out there.
A little
can't really do much other than shoot his
normal speed. Yeah, Spider-Man is trying to pass him balls and stuff. What is he going to do against someone?
So my only other one I thought of, and you said we could use superpowers, and this is kind of a cheat, but Doctor Strange could just like do his little circle, throw the ball through it, and then do the circle above the goal and drop it.
I thought about that as well. Someone who could control the ball midair with your mind.
WandaVision was one that I also thought of.
I think it might be a good spot for a magic type character.
WandaVision can just take the ball and literally control it with her hands, mind, whatever. Scarlet Witch.
She's a liability, though. Oh, well. We lost to Messin.
Could anyone else? She's a liability a little bit. Can anyone else maybe a liability on defense? I don't know. She's pretty strong. If we're talking full powers,
mad, though.
It's not bad.
Could just kill everyone.
The Hulk. That's his whole thing.
Her way.
True. Any other magic type people we can move things with their mind? Anybody? I feel like we haven't utilized the X-Men very much.
Oh, here's one that I thought of. Rogue. Yeah. She can take other people's powers.
Like the Monstars.
Right. So whatever powers we're going up against, we can use her to counteract them.
That's a thought.
Or if we wanted to have two Hulks out there, we could have two Hulks or two Spider-Mans, making the shooting guard spot the ultimate utility.
Okay, let me think of this is the ultimate liability situation.
Oh no, I know it's your best.
Professor X. If ever in a wheelchair, obviously, but the potential mind control pretty useful.
There. Or what about Magneto?
The ball is not metal. We're fine. He can move the
control the rims. Be tough rims.
If Magneto's on the bad guy side, that would be tough.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're doing that. Shooting guard's tough. You got to have a
there's a lot of options out there. Yeah. I mean, I think this has to be your number one scoring option.
Yeah.
We have a true point guard, I think, in Spider-Man. A
What?
true rim protector. We have a bully.
Yeah. So what we need someone who can we can count on to score points.
So I think that is the question of who that might be. I still think.
Could this be a spot for old Captain America?
Captain America is a thought.
He's got a little bit of everything. He's strong. He's got the shield. He's got heart.
Certainly got heart. Yeah, certainly a team player.
Maybe
I guess the
like
question
a Mac
is
Miller 3-point shooter type guy.
is how would his super strengths and superpowers translate to shooting the basketball? There's a couple of superheroes you'd love to have on your team, like Captain America or like Black Panther or like Wolverine. Guys who are utility guys. Who it's like
Wolverine's so short though. That's my only problem.
That's true.
It's 5'9".
I'd love to get an X-Men on the team somewhere.
Dude, there's Cyclops, one eyeball.
Just blast people out of the game.
What about Gambit? He got some magic to him. He can control the ball. He probably can score. He's a big guy.
I don't know much about him, honestly. Is Mason back with us or no?
I'm back.
There he
back.
is.
Okay, so Mason, we're still talking shooting guard. You didn't miss anything. We talked about the potential of Professor X being on the team in a wheelchair.
All right.
We threw out the options of Tens has got something.
What about Mystique? And she can turn into Klay Thompson. She can shapeshift and then she can shoot like him.
Do you get all of the abilities of the person you're shapeshifting into?
We're gonna say yes.
You just look like him.
Turns into.
Who's the high? Okay, let's go back to accuracy. I mean, a Hawkeye is not bad, but I just feel like he's basically just a human who can shoot arrows.
Right. Yeah. He might lose the fight.
You hand him a basketball and it doesn't translate. I could see him just throwing up bricks because he's like, I'm supposed to shoot arrows, not basketballs.
Okay. So let's go back to mind control. People who can, maybe someone like not Professor X, maybe someone like Scarlet Witch or Doctor Strange could be the best option out there. Who's the Doctor Strange guy from Doctor Strange 1 who played pick up basketball after he could walk again? Do you know who I'm talking about? Who became the bad guy? I don't want that guy on the team, but is that the only basketball that shows up in an MCU movie?
Maybe.
Don't you worry, so. I'll do some research on that.
Okay, thanks, Mason. Watch them all back.
I will.
Real quick.
Every single movie.
Okay. Oh, we didn't think about Groot. Groot would be a great rim protector as well.
Oh yeah, he would be.
So it looks like Sixth Man of the Year is going to go down to Groot or Korg.
What about Superman? Have we thought about Superman?
I was going to put him in as our small forward.
He can fly, so
he seemed most built like LeBron James.
Something to consider.
Small forward. That's what I was going for.
Flying makes basketball a little easier, I feel like.
It does.
But could you imagine lining Superman up next to Hawkeye in the lineup? Okay.
My vote is Doctor Strange or WandaVision. I think one of those two.
WandaVision is a television show about Wanda and Vision.
Or Wanda. I don't know. Did he not say WandaVision earlier too?
I know you said it earlier.
Multiple times.
You said it. I let you get away with it like 3 times, and then I told myself, if he says WandaVision again, I'm roasting him right here.
Wanda Maximoff.
We're talking about the Scarlet Witch. Yeah,
I think so. I think Scarlet Witch is good.
You feel good?
I feel good about that.
I feel like Doctor Strange maybe would be a downer on team morale. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'd be great there. Okay.
I don't think he's got very much defense in him.
We're creating an MCU team at this point.
Yep.
Mr. Fantastic's not in the MCU, guys, but
Yeah.
very Marvel heavy.
Yeah.
Do we want to plug in a Superman? I mean, that's kind of a cheat code, but hard to guard Superman.
It's true.
Unlimited
Superman
strength.
itself is a cheat code, yeah.
Well, but then
that was my number one vote.
My thing about small forward is it's someone who's got to get to the basket, someone who's going to play some good defense, fast and strong. I was going to go Black Panther.
Mm.
I mean, he's a panther.
Yeah.
He's ferocious.
See, I do think the question, I guess, would be, could Superman play basketball?
He can fly.
He's not even from this planet. He doesn't even understand basketball.
I mean, that's the question. Like, if he could, what it would look like, how his powers would translate. Obviously, super strength.
Super speed.
I guess there's a question of being too powerful. But thinking about who we're going up against, supervillain wise, there's a potential for some very strong and powerful people to be there. Like
true.
Surtur. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Black Panther trying to score on that guy.
I had some other ideas.
I could see it.
Some really strong people.
Black Panther does make sense. His power set makes for a very strong like basketball player. I feel like in a traditional we're playing basketball sense versus someone like the Hulk, who probably not good at basketball, like actually scoring a ball in a bucket. So something to think about. I think that's true. Mason, other thoughts?
We should lock it in.
Oh,
I think he made a good point.
You had another.
No, I had one for villain, which
villain.
we can do next. Yeah, we'll do that next episode. I just thought of some strong ones for villain, and I thought we need strength, but I think we need, if we're looking at scoring wise, who's doing some of the scoring. So we need a scorer on our team as well. I don't know if Superman's that guy.
And the Justice League sucks.
We might as well just call this Marvel draft, even though
I know this became very Marvel-y. What is our sixth man? Who are we thinking sixth man wise?
I told you it's coming down to Korg or Groot.
We have to have an extra big man because our guys Hulk could get 6 fouls real quick.
That's true. I don't know how fouls work in this league, but when you have the Hulk, I think you have to rely on the Hulk just like getting a technical, but just taking someone out of the game completely.
Yeah, like
that has to be your hope. Is that the Hulk just takes out the best player in the first three minutes and then he's out, but they're also out. Yeah. Okay, anybody else? Thor? How do we feel about Thor as being an all-around talent?
Thor's pretty solid
athlete. Do we want to plug in just like an all-around athlete? Do we want to plug in like a backup for a certain position? I think that's the question.
I think an all-around athlete, someone who could
plug
spot
in anywhere.
Someone like a Thor or
he's
Captain America.
Well, Captain America was my head coach.
Oh, head coach.
That was he's a motivational speaker.
Good at that.
Yeah. He runs he's like the team leader on
I like that.
the
Marvel
Falcon universe, the Avengers.
That sounded good in my head.
Radio silence. I don't know. He's fine. Does he get to use his wings, his metal wings during the game? I guess so. I guess if Thor gets to use his hammer.
I'm really pushing on the Korg Groot
Vision.
See, Vision is kind of a cheat code as well. He could like go through people and block him out. I was trying Vision out.
I was back and forth on Vision. I didn't know if he was too much of a cheat code.
He is the ultimate cheat code, probably.
Okay, how do we feel?
Way better than Superman.
Who are we plugging in? I feel like Groot is a direct comparison to Mr. Fantastic with the growing nature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very similar.
Not very smart.
Mr. Fantastic more smart, for sure. I feel like Korg is more of a Hulk comparison. Right. Those are similar. So if we wanted someone more neutral.
Like Thor could do everything.
Thor could be a 6-man, very strong. Yeah.
He'll go get you some baskets, some rebounds.
Okay. I like it. It's turned into MCU superhero draft, but that's okay. No one's taking Miss Marvel. I mean, Captain Marvel honestly would be kind of elite.
Yeah.
We already got a girl on the team.
I feel like Captain Marvel's pretty much like the
Superman
at this point.
Yeah.
She's kind of just like, you can't have her in all the time, or else it's like, what are we? I have not seen the Marvels, just us. But, okay, I feel good about that.
The only other one that we didn't pick that I had on my list was Human Torch for shooting guard, just because he could get hot. You know, he could get hot for 3.
He's hot, baby. I like that.
It's a good
Okay,
one.
so let's break it down because we're going to compare this to our supervillain draft once we do that. So at point guard, we have Spider-Man, Ultimate Distributor. Shooting guard, we have Wanda Maximoff, Scarlet Witch.
WandaVision.
WandaVision.
Thank you, everybody.
At the 3 spot, we have small forward. We have Black Panther. At the 4 spot, we have the Incredible Hulk. Hard to match up against the Hulk, I'll be honest with you. And at the 5, we have Mr. Fantastic, Ultimate Rim Protector from Anywhere. I mean, that's a pretty solid. So 6-man Thor, head coach, Captain America.
Sorry, Iron Man.
Iron Man is dead. Spoiler alert.
What the? He is.
A couple of those characters. Yeah. I think that's pretty
I feel good about the team. There's some, we've mentioned some honorable mentions that could have made the team.
Right.
Just,
if you wanted just like all powerful team, you definitely could have been like Superman, Captain Marvel, like put together and like, but would they actually be good at basketball?
That's the question.
It might be like the Monstars. They're huge and powerful, but they they can't compete with heart.
Still gotta put the ball in the hoop.
That's it. Let's hope they don't. Supervillains don't have Magneto. It could just drink the rim every time. That would be pretty hard to score at that point. Okay, good episode, everybody.
Great episode.
It's a fun one. We will lots of messing around there. Check out our weekend preview. Conference championships are this afternoon. That's what we'll be doing the rest of the afternoon here. We recorded early specifically to be able to watch some football this afternoon. So that's all coming up. We'll be breaking down those, breaking down the Super Bowl matchup. College basketball is in full swing. NBA, we got people scoring out the wazoo. All of a sudden, we got people. It's looking like we might get we could get 100-pointer. Let's break a record this year. Let's do it. So we have sports, even though football is kind of starting to wind down, we have a lot going on still. So be there with us, weekend preview, and we will see you then on Friday. Have a good week.